Hi there, I'm Mrs. Halliwell, and hopefully my video is going to support you with what to look for when checking your child's work. Okay, I created a checklist of 1 to 8. So number 1 on my list would be first to familiarise yourself with the task that's been set by the teacher. So this can be found on their team page or in their exercise books. The task will vary depending on the subject. So for example, they may be asked to answer some questions, they may be asked to make some notes or to create a newspaper article. So it's a really good idea to familiarise yourself with the task that's being set first, because they will be different depending on the subject. The second thing then is just to read your child's work really carefully. So while they are actually completing the work, just ensuring that they're spending around 30 minutes on the task that's been set for them for a single lesson. So making sure that they're not rushing through it, but that also they're not spending too long on it as well. Whilst you're reading your child's work, number 3 on my checklist would be to check that it includes the success criteria. So this will be set out by the teacher. So it could be that it's a checklist or a little tick list that they can tick off as they're completing their work. It could be numbered tasks or highlighted skills that they want them to include. So it just depends on which teacher it's for as to the way that the success criteria will be laid out. Also, to go along with that, you can also read the model example that's set out by the teacher. So this gives you a really good understanding of what the teacher is looking for. So a model example might have the name of a waggle, so what a good one looks like, or it might be called Wilf, what I am looking for. And this will just be an example of what the teacher wants to see in your child's work. So if you can compare your child's work to the model example, then you'll know whether they're on the right lines or not. So this is an example for GCSE drama. This is a written task, and I've given them 3 separate tasks. So the first one was to imagine that they were a character in the set text that we're studying. The second one was then they had to describe how they use their skills and what effects they would want to create. So as you can see here, that's exactly what this learner has done. And then number 3 was then to highlight your work using the success criteria. So that success criteria earlier that you saw that was highlighted, that's what they've done here, and they've used the different colours to highlight where they've included the success criteria in their work. Number 5 on my checklist would be to check the spelling, punctuation and grammar in the piece of work that they've completed. Also, whilst they're doing the work, to support this, you could encourage them to use a dictionary, and you could encourage them to use the support pages in their PPM whilst they're writing their piece of work. And then if you quickly just scan through for any spelling mistakes, and just ensuring they've got full stops and capital letters where they're needed. That would be wonderful. So then also with that, just making sure that they're writing in full sentences. So the teacher may provide some sentence starters to support this. So they should be writing in full sentences, and if they're not, then they can use the sentence starters that are on offer to them from the teacher. Number 6 on my checklist would be to check the presentation of your child's work. So is it readable? Is it presentable? And is the teacher going to be able to read it? So making sure the writing's not too small, you know, it's not scruffy. And if they have made a mistake, that's absolutely fine. Just ensuring that they put one line through it as opposed to kind of scribbling it out. Number 7 on my checklist would be, if you can, to try and offer some feedback on what you think that your child can improve on. So if you've looked at the success criteria and the model example, and there's something that isn't in your child's work that you've seen in the success criteria or on the model example, then you could just point that out to them. Also, what you could do is if the next steps have been given out by the teacher, then you could refer to those and maybe give them one of those to help them improve their work. Whatever you do give them to improve on, if you just ensure that they've done that before they submit their work to their teacher, that would be great. And then number 8 would be to check that their work has been submitted on time. So this will either be in Teams under their subject area or in their PPM where they've written it in their planner. Okay, so I hope that's been useful. I've done you just a little rough guide of the checklist from 1 to 8 that you can refer to when checking your child's work. Thank you.